By the way, a quick update. Bryan Callen was in the movie. One sentence, and you don't see his face. You see his reflection off of a mirror. So I just want to point out that he was in the film. He might have recorded more.
And he plays like a gay prostitute, doesn't he? Or some
No. If he had that big of a role, great. He just plays another dude that's in the clowning business, but he's in the backstage party, and you just hear him say, hey, blah, 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 blah. And then they move on to the next scene. And you only see his face.
Big star.
Because he's looking at a mirror, but like the camera's still like 20 feet away.
Big star. You know,
like if you don't know it was Bryan Callen, you wouldn't have picked it up.
You know what would have been dope is if Bryan Callen
had
taken that Netflix deal. Because now you'd have a Netflix special out. If you
you're
didn't
right.
listen to your friend Brendan, you'd have a Netflix special, Joker. This would be your big year. But instead, you're releasing your old comedy specials on the Fighter and the Kid channel.
I have
see that?
yeah. Wait, no. Oh, yeah. I saw Callen release his special on YouTube. Yeah.
Trying to get that. Like, again, leads me to believe that he's got one foot out the door, and he's like, I'm going to get some of this audience on my way out.
You think so?
Yeah, Why wouldn't you? Right? Like, if I thought this was going to be a rap, I'll be like, yo, I'm going to get a couple of, like, my solo merch clips up. Get that audience. Get those people out.
One Step Too Far sent this to us, and this is the moment Bryan Callen finally got it. This is from The Fighter and the Kid.
Yes, they had Jim Breuer
They had Jim Breuer on, and apparently Bryan Callen's a big Jim Breuer fan, and Brandon Schaub's an idiot.
It's the best description ever. Oh, we're going to have, we'll have him in here in studio, and of course he's a huge fan, and I'm a moron. So it's going to be a good dynamic, I think. So Jim Breuer was in there, and he was all like, "Yeah, man, I got this all the time." Right?
That's a good Brewer. Talk about the Mets.
You know, he was great on the radio, but like, it's just after a while.
He did tell some of the, look. I'm to be fair, some of my favorite stories that were ever told, like on old O&A, was Jim Brewer stories.
That's what I mean. On the radio, he's great. When somebody, dude, he would talk about his, like, his dad dying, his mom's all that fucked up shit. He just was so honest about it. But when he gets on stage, it's like, like. Oof.
All right, let's play this from One Step Too Far.
I'm a huge fan because I keep referencing stuff. When they said you're coming on, I went,
look at by the way, you have to look at the comments. Brendan is the #1 worst interview. #2 goes to Brendan as well.
That's a great comment.
Brendan, dude, you really need to stop interrupting the guest. You're literally killing any momentum.
He's one of the greats.
Well,
that's the way people view you, brother.
Well, thank you. Take your shirt off.
And that's not Mike. You're not like a niche comic or
No.
That's
well, that means a lot to me, more than you know.
That's why you sell 1,100 tickets every fucking month.
More than you know, it means more because as time goes on, I never was the A-lister type guy or anything in that.
We know, Goat Boy.
That world.
You didn't feel that way. I'm telling you.
Can you tell Brendan is sick of Brendan?
No,
Bryan,
you can tell Bryan is sick of Brendan.
Yeah.
from where I come from, my friends and my circle, you're as A-list as it gets. Man.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I think you need to be reminded of that.
All right.
That's why I'm saying it.
I need to remind myself. I'm gonna tell my wife.
Okay, so listen to that. Every way Bryan, we figured this out, like with the Hodge twins. The way Bryan even compliments people is so moronic and insulting.
No,
like
Brendan.
I'm sorry, I meant to say Brendan is so moronic and insulting. You know what I mean? Like, it's what he did with the Hodge twins. Like, you guys look like a bunch of, roidy, stupid magoos with mush brains, but you're actually funny. He did that with Breuer. He's
basically saying, like, look, I don't care if you're washed up, bro, and your career's not what it used to be.
Exactly.
But, like, me and my friends, we think you're A-list, even though, I mean, come on, you're not. But to us, it's like,
you're the
whoa,
best.
Jim Breuer.
Exactly.
Even though you could probably walk around.
He's talking to Jim like if Jim's wife or girlfriend. It's like, you're still #1 to me, baby.
Even though
I get it.
Yeah, dude. Like, even though you could walk around your hometown now in your 50s and people probably won't even bother you at the mall.
Yeah.
My friends think you're still famous.
He's really terrible at this.
Look, baby, I don't think you're fat, no matter what my friends say. Brendan, shut up.
Stop. You're not helping.
Always
There's
funny.
gonna be some phone call to my wife after this.
Right. Let me talk.
Do you understand what's going on?
Hey.
You're gonna call my wife.
Hey.
And you're gonna let my kids know what time it is.
Always
Isn't
funny.
that weird when you're on the road though? If you have
Listen
kids,
to him just not letting anybody get any breathing room. They don't. He won't pass the ball to anybody. Breuer said like 3 words. Bryan Callen's like, yeah. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Mike and I have been doing this for a while, and when we interview people, we're pretty good at like kind of looking at each other and seeing okay, who's taking over, who's not, and kind of have a flow. This is just a steamroller. You're doing a show with a steamroller.
Like, just go like pretend you're Bryan Callen and ask Jim Breuer a question.
So Jim, how's
and then it's like, me and my homies, we would always watch like Half Baked. You know what I mean? And like we would get baked, bro. And we would get baked, and it was like we were getting baked with you, dude. That's all I'm saying, dude.
Will you sign
no,
my
dude,
bond?
I'm telling you, what we need to do, whatever you do, Jim, don't do a Netflix special. I talk everybody out of that shit.
There's a bit of there's a resentment.
Brendan,
like I'm just
how
like,
the
man,
fuck
I'm
do
missing
you not
stuff.
realize what just happened?
Like, yeah,
You
you know,
panic.
Whoa!
I have 3 dates in November. There's a good
Oh my
chance.
God. We have to watch that again, don't we, Brendan?
Hopefully I don't miss.
Jim is gonna joke about
It's
how
like
you
there's a
won't let him
resentment.
talk.
Like I'm just like, man, I'm missing stuff, or like,
You panic a little bit.
I
I
did
got
kinda miss that.
another
Hold
kid
on.
coming in.
Let my kids know what time.
Reminded of that.
All right.
He goes, you need to be reminded of that. Look at Jim's reaction to when Brendan tells him that. And then listen as Brendan keeps going on, interrupt.
Bass frequency versus Joe Rogan. Look into it, bro. Some of these, I'm not. Pay attention to the comments are pretty good.
Him. And then he misses Jim go,
Jim Breuer looks like Nate Diaz in 20 years. It's a
funny.
pretty good line.
joke that I was about to
So,
Tell my wife.
Always
There's gonna be
funny.
some phone call on my
Yeah.
wife after this.
Right.
Let me talk.
Do you understand what's going on?
Hey.
You're gonna call my wife.
Hey.
And you're gonna let my kids know what time it is.
Always
Isn't
funny.
that weird?
Ooh, God, he's terrible. Take the shoes off the table.
Shoes on the table symbolically is a very bad thing. Like, that's right.
Yes.
You're not supposed to have even clean new shoes. You don't put shoes on a table.
Take the shoes off the table. Did you see this? Fate of Kings.
Oh,
His okay, this is great. Couldn't wait to play this for you guys. Ultimate Song Collection commercial from Brendan Schaub.
Have you ever wanted all of your favorite rock hits on one single CD? But the CTE makes it difficult to remember what they are? Time Life and Brendan Schaub present to you Schaub's Classics, a collection of some of the most iconic and well-known rock songs as Brendan remembers them. This 4-disc set includes many timeless classics. Classics like Perpy Hates by Joey Hendrix,
Perpy Hates by Joey Hendrix.
Comportally Numb by Pink Floyd,
Pink Floyd.
Rocky in a Free Word by Neely Young, That Teen Wasteland Song
That Teen Wasteland song. It's literally called Teenage Wasteland.
Don't Tease the Retard by Blister Cult,
Blister Cult.
Saltines of Swing by Dire Straits,
Something to say.
Heaven Stairs by Les Zeppelin,
Heaven Stairs is my favorite one.
Heaven Stairs.
Stairs is my favorite
Heaven
one.
Stairs by Les
That made me
Zeppelin.
die laughing yesterday.
and many more. For just 07 easy payments of $4.44, this wonderful collection can be yours. You'll sit there like a deer in headlights once you listen to Schaub's Classics.
You remember these commercials used to be on too? Like if you'd fall asleep, you'd have these stupid infomercials for these this compilations.
Torture.
Here, I'm gonna post a link in there. That's Fate of Kings. That was a really Fate of Kings and Joy of Pepsi, I believe.
Remember when Brendan Schaub was fucking Ronda Rousey, and then she just started fucking another dude, and then that dude beat him up?
Allegedly, allegedly.
Well,
But
she
yes.
left him for the other dude. It's not like.
All right.
Is that not like? She used to be with Brendan Schaub, then she was no longer with Brendan Schaub, then she was with another fighter. Is that inaccurate?
Well, you're missing the middle with Dana White.
I didn't say that.
Allegedly.
I see. You're the one. I just said. Remember when Brendan Schaub was fucking Ronda Rousey?
You know what I was
and then
thinking?
she started fucking another fighter, and then that fighter helped turn his fucking brain into pudding. And the end. It's an uplifting story.
You know, it's funny because with the whole, I was thinking about this. We've talked about, like, I don't know if she ever did anything with Dana White or not. But remember when Ronda Rousey?
I don't know if she did or not.
Well, I'm just going to point something out. Remember when Ronda Rousey left the UFC and she went to WWE? They did like an entire, at a pay-per-view at a UFC, Dana White, who's in charge, did entire like 15-minute vignette for Ronda Rousey. Like she was good, don't get me wrong. And obviously I know she's one of the first female fighters. I get all that. But it was really out of character. It was kind of like she was leaving and plugging that she was going to WWE and playing a whole like Ronda Rousey was the #1 fight after she got kicked so hard in the head that she never wanted to come back.
That kick broke her.
It broke her. That destroyed her.